Hello and welcome to A Slice of Life. I'm Georgianne Thomas, and I tried to, let me see, I made it to Spelman. I'm out of Gary, Indiana on this one. I'm down in Spelman. But I always do a little some kind of music or something. So, I told you that I can do all the chords now in just where in the C area. I don't have to go up and down like I was doing. So I tried it, and I said, okay, but I didn't do it as fast as I would like to have done it. So we got C right here. Oh, something fell. So all of you know C when you hear it. That's C, E, and G. So once I get on C, E, and G, then what the YouTube is saying is I'm already on C, E, and G. So leave my finger on G and then just move back to B and D. And then the YouTuber said you're already on G, B, and D for G major. When you go to A minor, then that's the one where you have to move. Once you come off of G, then you have to actually move your fingers to make it to A minor, A, C, and E. All right, so I'm still in the same neighborhood. And then it says, so while you on A, C, E, then you're going to go to F major, which you're already on A, you're already on C. Just stretch that finger over, lift that other finger up. And here's the problem. And then you have F. And then you're supposed to do that faster. But I'm so proud to be able to do it right in that little circle. I had to share that with you. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. You all just don't know. It just, little things make you happy when you're on this journey. Little things. And it's the little things that should make you happy. The thing about it all while you're on whatever journey you're on is make sure that it's your journey. That you're happy doing this. You don't care what other people think about what you're doing. Do you? People talked about so many different people, and if you talk about Jesus, they're going to talk about you. So this is what I feel like doing. You have this option, like on TV, you have an option. You don't have to listen. You can go listen to somebody else, or you can come and have fun with me, which I hope you will, and as we talk about this journey. All right, so I was looking over here trying to see if I'm going to play the rest of Something Happened Today. But you can always go to Alexa and ask for my one-woman show, or you can go to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. What's the other one? It's another one. I mean, you can go to, there are 27 of them. You can go 27 places and hear something. You can hear Man Without Hate, It's a New Day. Now you can hear Something Happened Today because I still have that up here. I just haven't gotten to record that one yet. And you can go to Say That You Will, Say That You Will. Oh, I love that little song. It's cute. And then the one that I think should be the Anthem for America. I don't have to be the one to sing it. See, keep in mind, you can sing my song, okay? The one, Can't We Be Friends? Can't We Be Friends is I think should be the anthem of America today. What happened to friendship? Are we all cross? Go on, go pull that up and listen to the lyrics. Ask yourself that. What happened to friendship? Are we all lost? Ask yourself, is love dying? Is love lost? We need to be friends. When this world get where you can't, where you got this and the other person got that, and they have divided you, so you're looking over there at this and looking over there at that. You can't get this and they can't get that. But together, you will have a lot more. Isn't it a cartoon like that? Something where the people have long arms and the people with the long arms, they can't feed themselves. They have no elbows. So their arms stretch out. They can't feed themselves. Isn't that something like that? And then they said, but they're not, some other people are dying, but these people are not dying with the no elbows, with the long arms. And the reason why they're not dying, because they're taking the food that they can pick up and put in your mouth, because I don't have an elbow, but I can feed you, and you pick it up and put it in my mouth. You know, we have to feed each other. We have to do something, you know, to lift up each other. And so I made it to Spelman. Oh, I was hot at Spelman because my mother sent me with school clothes. We didn't know that you kept the sun, the sun was high in Atlanta all the way through October, November. I had to send for some, I had my winter clothes, all my little new outfits. Yeah, right. I had to get some summer clothes down here. I didn't wear a coat the whole first year. I couldn't understand why people were cold. It was like balmy. You know, all the northerners who come to the south the first time, they laugh because you don't have school with a half an inch of snow. Let me just say about that snow thing. The one time, I'm on the west side now, high school. One time in all my 12 years, school was closed because of bad weather, the snow. Who went to school on that day? And about 120 more students, or maybe more than that, because there was no little red line that went under the TV. There was no announcement. And in my house, you got up, and that's what you did. You went to school. So it was my neighbor's turn. It was somebody else that lived out there that went to Fraber with me. So my stepfather and this mother, I can't think her name, would pick me up. So she picked us up. And we went to school, and the school was closed. They had to somebody had to open the school, and we all were in the gym where we played dodgeball till somebody came and got us. Isn't that something? But just talking about down south here, but now I've been down here too long. I get cold, all right? But just arriving at Spelman, God almighty, it was a beautiful campus and still is a beautiful campus. And I was so upset because my last name was Thomas, and they ran out of rooms in the Morehouse North and South where all the freshmen lived. And I had to go and live with the upperclassmen. I didn't know I was going to have it so good. I really didn't. I really was upset because I was not with my class. They threw Brer Rabbit in the briar patch because they had different rules for the upperclassmen. Oh my! And it was the same dormitory that my mother had lived in. Really? That's some kind of fate. I lived in Packard Hall. Packard Hall now is the registrar's office or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, Packard Hall is where I lived. And so the older people who lived over there, you learned a lot as a freshman, especially me, just sheltered person. Ooh, I learned so much fast. One of the people I liked immediately was Hattie Williams. I liked her right away. We still are in touch. How many years later? I'm coming up on 60 years out of Spelman in 2024. 1964 to 2024. That's 60 years. Gotta keep living. It was a wonderful place, and I felt free. I was not free. Georgia didn't have no freedom going on up there in Gary. And so you were free, but you were tethered. And that was the right thing. That really was the right thing. You look back on it, a young girl, young woman, you had to keep tabs on us because somebody else would be keeping tabs on us and we wouldn't know it. So I'm grateful for my upbringing by my parents. So I get off to Spelman freshman week. It's just wonderful. So Mary Rita always talks about when I stood up. She said I was so proper. She said I stood up and said whatever I said. I was from Gary, Indiana. And people were from all kind of places, like Waycross, Georgia. I couldn't figure out if that was a name or they were saying they were from a way across Georgia. I had so much to learn. It was so much Southern hospitality that I liked. I don't know, people were just warm and friendly, and I was glad to be at school. And I was free. I was just free to actually not have anybody tell me anything but what they told us in school. Of course, freshman week was all about how great it was to be at Spelman, and I still appreciate that. Because you could go somewhere else if you don't like where you are. I always invite people to somewhere else. Then you don't have to be at Spelman, you could go somewhere else. So, and we didn't see the guys at Morehouse. I mean, we heard there was a connection between the schools. Of course, I already knew that with a father at Morehouse and a mother at Spelman, both of them coming out of Gary, Indiana. But I know about this pairing thing. And it wasn't really a pairing. I meant to show you all. I think it's too far away. The invitation that Mrs. Reed sent, the first, President Reed, what am I saying? The first president. What president was she at Spelman? Oh, I'm embarrassed. But anyway, President Reed. They sent invitations to the men in Morehouse to come and come to a dance at Spelman. And I still have my mother's invitation. I said I was going to give it to Spelman. I thought I had it nearby, but I don't want to get up and come back to this. Because back then, Mrs. Reed, the president, invited the men over. But anyway, so all week we had to wear dresses. Well, I think, no, you wore dresses anyway, because you couldn't wear pants at Spelman. I think our class asked for pants. As I think about it, did I wear pants growing up? Oh, yes, I did. Pedal pushers. I think that's what we wore mostly. I guess when it was cold, what did I wear? I don't know, but I don't remember wearing pants a lot anyway. Women didn't wear pants a lot. I guess you did if you worked where you need to have on pants. So it wasn't a big deal to me. I don't know if I ever took pants to school. To this day, I don't own a pair of jeans, and I really should. I tried. I don't know. But I do have some pants, though. But let me tell you, we wore something every day. We looked nice. And we got a tour of the school and, the rules and regulations. And we could actually be off campus till 6 p.m. Oh, my God. I could be free until 6 o'clock in the evening. That was a lot for me. That was great for me. Nobody tell me anything until 6 o'clock. But when you tell that story now, people are like, in the sun up in the sky at 6 o'clock? No men were on campus after 6. Ask the men. I especially like Charles Black's stories. He said he would visit right till 5 minutes to 6. Then he had 5 minutes to get from Spelman's campus all the way to Morehouse campus, Sale Hall. My dad lived in Sale Hall. I don't understand how things changed. But anyway, maybe that wasn't the right place. Anyway, he would leave Spelman visiting, and he would run because they stopped serving in Morehouse at 6. They had that thing set up. They stopped serving in Morehouse at 6, and men had to be off campus at 6. So if you got a girlfriend, you just, you hunkered down with her. Now I know you're saying, where did they visit? My daughter said, well, where did they visit? Well, you visited in the dormitory in the big room where they had sofas and chairs, and you sat appropriately. You sat appropriately and talked to the young man. What was appropriate? You had on a dress, your legs were properly crossed. Or you could sit on the bench if it was outside, but you couldn't, he couldn't be that close to you. Space had to be in there. And we had house mothers that would say that they, made sure they wanted you to come back to the dormitory the same way you left. It took me a long time to figure out what that meant. I was so green. Oh my God. Anyway, it was a good experience though. I liked it. Then we had Morgan Hall. That's where I met Carol Jackson. She was Miller, Maynard's sister. I met her by the time the other students came on campus. Maybe I met her somewhere along the way. I had decided I was going to be a French major. I had taken French. So anyway, she was a year older than me, but I met her in the line. I mean, it was so nice meeting people. And you were known by, not necessarily by your name, but where you from. I mean, everybody knew me. I was from Gary, Indiana. It wasn't anybody else from Gary, Indiana. But it was somebody at Clark College from Gary, Indiana. I didn't know that at the time. And that was my Pulaski classmate, Edward. What is Edward's name? Anyway, he's everything at Clark, Atlanta. And so, and then I think it was a female that came down the next year. But you just knew people by where they were from. And I think that's the same way it is now in college. I'm not sure people know you by your name. They might know you by your name, but they know you by where you're from. So freshman year was very eye-opening because by the time so we had freshman week. So the last day of freshman week, all the men were allowed to come on campus. Of course, you know they had on a shirt and tie. You already knew that. We had beanie hats, little blue beanies with the S on it, and the men had the little maroon beanies with the M on it, and a beanie said you were a first-year student. We were all called freshmen. My neck is hurting. I apologize. Something's pain going on here. 81 next week. Just, Anyway, we had the beanie hats. I wish I knew where my beanie hat. I lost a lot of my stuff. It was in Mayfield. If you're from Mayfield, Illinois, if you know anybody from Mayfield, Illinois, then they had a place where you store, a storage place. And I lost all my stuff in storage up there. The one woman told me that she was going to hide my stuff and they would never find it. So if you know, if it's somewhere in Mayfield storage, find something that said Georgianne Thomas. I don't know, I had my baby books and when I was in Paris early in life. Anyway, so let me not digress. I'm still at Spelman freshman week. So all the men came over. Shirt and ties. Gorgeous. I never seen that many fine men. And they were coming to see us, or we were coming to meet, because this was our class. We thought they were coming to see us. We really were coming to meet. Do you know that the people who you line up according to height, I think you just didn't have any, you just walked till you met somebody and you walk with them. Walk until you met somebody and you walk with them. Walk till you met somebody and you walk with them. And then that was you got a chance to meet people. You talked about where you from and whatnot. And some people end up marrying those people that they met the first time. Isn't that something? It really was. It was a great experience. The best experience was you could pair up, sign out, and go somewhere. You couldn't go far. And I thought I could go to the West End and get something. That's when I found out you were not going to the West End and buying anything in the front door to eat. Not happening. And so when Herschel came and spoke to us, she was the president of student body. If you know her or knew her, she had this elegant woman who had come back from Paris. She was so well spoken, such a elegant way she carried herself. She was a senior, of course, and she spoke to us and just touched our hearts on why we needed to join the movement. She touched my heart just on the fact that I couldn't go anywhere that I was used to going in Gary. You didn't know any white. You couldn't talk to white people. They had colored and white signs. They had colored and white bathrooms, and they had colored and white water. What? I gotta join these people. I was ready to join, and I did. But one thing that I regret that I didn't know how to capture, but I wrote my mother all the things we did when we met Dr. King, da 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 da, and she had all those letters. She saved them all. And when I said, I need those letters in my handwriting, she said she had just thrown them away. Oh my God, I cried to myself because I didn't know how to say that. I was much older before I realized that. And I guess I'm saying to you, find your old letters. Find your stuff you had in college. Excuse me, this is some different hair I got on today. Anyway, find your old letters. Find stuff. Preserve our stuff. I wish you could see this place where I live. I couldn't call my house junky, but I got some stuff that I'm going to catalog. I have a site called Museum Atlanta, and it was L. Cornell Pearson that came up with how to get my site going. He said, why don't you instead of having a museum, I was trying to figure out what building, or how could I turn this house, or could I go out there and clean out the garage? You know what it looks like. And make a museum out of it. Paint the walls white. And Cornell said, why don't you just make it digital? Oh my God. That's what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to make it digital. So I have a digital platform. And I already have some people that are going to put their pieces on my platform. Now, not to mention, did y'all see when I turned this thing sideways like somebody crazy? I can't even look over there myself. My sister would have a fit if she came in here and saw all this. But anyway, let's go back to us meeting and pairing. And you talk to that guy. And some people dated whomever that was. I didn't do any of that. I was just glad to be somewhere. And then they had a snack place. So we were not encouraged to go up to Yates and Milton. Spelman women were not encouraged to go to Yates and Milton. Now, if you were on-campus student, city students. So we had city students. So let's talk about city students. I love the city students. They were in our class, but they lived at home. Maybe not. I thought maybe all freshmen had to live on campus. But we had some city students that were at Spelman that lived at home. And I think all freshmen had to stay on campus. That's why I had to go to the big girls' dormitory. Anyway, here's the thing that it was good meeting the guys, and then we just got to know one another, and it was a great campus. 6 o'clock, everybody was gone. You can break down whatever you break down. I don't know. But here's the other thing. We had something called Vespers. You had to get up every morning and go somewhere and thank the Lord. Now, I didn't mind thanking the Lord. I grew up in the church, but I didn't know I had to go to church before I went to class. You went. The first time we went somewhere during freshman week, I will always remember Dr. Charlotte Mize Johnson. I loved her. I loved Dr. Charlotte Mize Johnson. She was Charlotte Mize. We were cheerleaders together. Yes, I was a cheerleader my sophomore year. By the time my sophomore year, I could be a cheerleader. Oh, I was so happy I could do stuff. But anyway, I'm shameful to say this because somebody would say, well, your church was probably singing the song, you didn't know it. Probably so. But everybody got up. Dun 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 dun. Lift every voice and sing. And people going on singing. And I said, excuse me, to Charlotte, where's that in the book? Oh my God. I didn't ask that question anymore. She said, where you from? You don't know this song. Who are you? Oh, she laid me out. I just didn't say anything else. I said, oh my God, I'm missing something here. I didn't say a word. I didn't sing. I shut my mouth. I had to go find out what song was this that I didn't know that they probably sang in my church that I didn't know. I didn't pay. It didn't have any. It didn't impact me at all. Oh Lord, you know how you just come off just. It's just so many things you think people should know they don't know. Kids should know they don't know. You just I knew O Sole Mio. I could do shorthand. Anyway, I learned a lot. I needed to be at Spelman. I tell y'all all the time, I needed to be at Spelman. I needed to have all of that happen to me. I also got in trouble almost with Charlotte. Charlotte had a car. I want you to meet my mother. I want you to meet my mother. I said, girl, you know I can't get in the car. She said, what you mean you can't get in the car? I said, you know we can't get in the car. Freshmen can't be in cars. We can't be in cars. I said, girl, get in the car and get down low. I'll put a blanket over you. And I did it. I wanted to go over on Willoughby Way. That's where I went. In Atlanta to see and meet her parents. Ooh, they could cook over there. Did they have a restaurant? Somebody tell me. I don't know. But anyway, she ended up being Dr. Charlotte Myers Johnson, the principal, I think, somewhere. Just how you don't never know. I tell my students, look to the left, look to the right. You don't know who's sitting next to you. You know, you think about all the people who sat next to Barack or Michelle, you know, or Kanji Jackson Brown. Okay? You don't know who you're sitting next to. You know, but so that was fun for me to get in the car and not get caught. I did get caught though. Yes, I did. Let's talk about going to the library. Oh my God, the library was right across the street. And the library is where the Trevor Arnett building is on Clark Atlanta University's campus. Because at that time, it was Clark College and Atlanta University. Atlanta University was the epitome of schools and education. And I mean, you just saw people over there. You just like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of school to get to Atlanta University. It was prestigious. People were smart that went over there. They had every kind of program. They had a library, science, engineer. They had everything. And they had a French department over there, was just beyond French. I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, but the boys went to the library too. After 6, with no boys on campus, but you could go to the library. I think they stayed open to 9 because, you know, we had to study. Yes, we did. And, you know, you can walk around the library outside, maybe. All kind of stuff. Now, we had a library in Giles Hall. Yes, we did. Okay. Anyway, it was fun, but it was serious. And the Atlanta student movement made it more serious for me. My mother just didn't want me to do it because I think she was afraid. All our mothers were afraid, but we were 16, 17, 18. My roommate was 16 years old. Yvonne Weatherly was 16. We had to march. We had to go. We had to make a difference. I know I had to do it. I had to do it, people. And I did it. And I think that, I'm looking for something. I'll tell you in a minute. I think that, let me tell you what I think. When we did it because it was the right thing to do, which is why when Evelyn and I did the movie Foot Soldiers, the class of 1964, the award-winning movie, when the ladies that we asked that finally said, okay, we'll do this movie with you, talked about it, do you know they hadn't talked about it since we marched at Spelman? If my daughter hadn't asked me about this mark on my arm, I never would have thought about the mark on my arm. Because we did it because it was the right thing to do. We weren't trying to be this, we weren't trying to be that. We had careers we were going to be. but it was compelling. You had to do something. You had to make a difference. And Spelman now has a theme. Has that theme. We made a difference. We're still making a difference. Spelman won. I love you.